The Power had to work through Melbourne yesterday. It was a tough old win in the Alice. Great to see premiership points being played for there. 9 goals each after quarter time, but there was a 20-point quarter time margin to the Power, and that was the same at the end. Port the first 4, but they had to kick the last 4 to get back in front after the Demons led in the final term. Rui, interesting game of footy.
Very interesting. Port came out of the blocks, as they have all year, and they continued that rich vein of form. They kicked the first 4 goals of the match, and you thought, gee, this looks a little bit ugly for the D's up in the Alice, but it's a new Melbourne team under Paul Roos, and we learnt that pretty quickly in the second quarter. They fought their way back, kicked 4 in a row, and they trailed by just a goal at half-time. So I don't think they would have done that in previous years. I think that's one of the things that Paul Roos has really brought to the team. Dom Tyson, what a player he's been for the Melbourne Football Club. He's had those comparisons to Josh Kelly and will probably continue to do so, but there were various times throughout the game where you thought, gee, here we go, Melbourne are going to get blown out. But late in the game, it was almost the other way. Melbourne hit the lead by about 2 goals, and you thought an upset was on the cards. But Justin Westhoff was able to hit the scoreboard for his only 2 goals of the game in the last quarter. And Port's ability to run out games is the best in the AFL, and that's another thing I learnt yesterday, that their gut running gets it done for them late in games. Paul Roos has instilled a never-say-die attitude at the Melbourne Football Club that their supporters would be really happy about. And Robbie Gray, he celebrated his 100th game in style yesterday, and he's become the consistent player now on the back of being healthy for a longer period of time than he has been at any stage in his career. And it's paying dividends for him. He suffered that horrendous injury a few years ago, and since he recovered from that, and he's playing now in a top-quality team, he's never really looked back spot.
Rui, you mentioned Dyson Salem, that trade. It's been a great move for the Melbourne Footy Club. I mean, they're both quality young players, and they really are starting to show why they wanted them into their footy club.
Yeah, absolutely. Dom Tyson would be Melbourne's most consistent player this year outside of Nathan Jones, who just continues to get it done week after week. But some unfair comparisons at the start, and Melbourne were really criticised pretty heavily with that trade. But the 2 players that they picked up from that had great days yesterday, and will have long careers for the footy club.
No doubt the Demons are made of much sterner stuff under Paul Roos. Here's his thoughts on the Demons' progress this year.
No question. I mean, the group's made enormous steps forward from where we've come from. But we understand we've got to climb the ladder, but by the same token, it gets frustrating when you're in a winning position. You know, again, the best team in the competition, and that's where that balance comes. But we've made enormous strides as a footy team this year.
You've seen the Demons firsthand. They're a different outfit, aren't they?
They sure are. No, they've been outstanding the last couple of weeks. So, you know, they're a young side and certainly improving.
Alice Springs is where the points were played for yesterday, Dyson. We've seen some cricket grounds in England with old oak trees and other bits and pieces. It wasn't quite on the playing surface. Certainly looked like it at times when the cameramen had to deal with it. But it reminded us of a ground. Have a look at on half forward. Have a look at the donkey right there.
Oh, geez. Yeah, little obstacles.
How good is that? That's as good as I've seen for a while.